I don't know if you're familiar with Inside the Actor Studio. Is that a thing in Ireland?
Yes, I've definitely seen a couple of episodes of that at some point. Yeah.
Well, one question that James Lipton always asks his guests: what is your favorite swear word and why?
It's a, it's a bad one. It's a really
I,
bad one.
I mean,
It's
on YouTube, it's going to get bleeped anyway. I mean, if it's
okay.
like that bad, and
Yeah.
also they just recently relaxed their F word policy, so if it involves that,
Yeah, but
is
it's
it
a okay,
is it
yeah, my favorite one is one that I really say when I'm really raging and it will never make it onto my YouTube channel. But it's a word that like a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I hate that word." Can I
oh
say
is
it?
it? Go ahead.
You're afraid. You're like, "Oh
I
no,
think I know
what's she
what
gonna
word it
say?"
is because it's very popular in Europe, not so much in America. Does it
Yeah.
rhyme with runt?
Yes.
Okay. That is the one word that YouTube is always no go on. So
Yeah. But that's what comes out when I'm really fucking angry. That's what comes out. Can I say it?
I'm
See, do
gonna.
you know what I mean? Like, if I was
Well, I
like,
mean,
it's
if
fuck,
it's
you'd be
with
like, yeah,
YouTube,
yeah, whatever.
I have to bleep it because that's the one thing where they're always like, "That's a word you can't say." But
Yeah. Oh, I know. I don't expect this to
if
be
you
in
want to
the
say it, I'll bleep it.
because then the people at home will never know what I say. So my
Exactly.
favorite swear word is, but you'll never know because it was bleeped out just now. And to juice it up a bit more, you fucking cunt. But that's going to be beeped out, so you'll never know what my favorite swear word is.
Exactly. And there will be a black bar in your mouth in the video. And it's actually, I don't want to go explicit on the podcast because I don't know how that affects discoverability. So even on the audio version, that will be the one bleep y'all get.
This is the clean version, okay? My favorite swear word is, what do you mean, swear word? What is the swear word? It's oh, sugar.
So without saying the word again, like apparently that's not a big deal where you're from. Like not just Ireland, but like basically all of Western Europe. They just kind of throw that word around and Australia. So is it strictly an anger thing
Yeah.
for you? Because apparently in some parts of the world it can be a term of endearment, sort of like motherfucker or whatever.
No,
Like, oh,
definitely not a term of endearment here. No, but it doesn't have the same kind of like some people have a real visceral reaction to that word. Like some people are like, I can't believe you just said that word. But like here it's pretty common swear word, but like you wouldn't go I mean, if someone called you that to your face, you would be pretty upset and angry. I don't think you would be like laughing it off. You'd be like, okay, they're really mad at me. They really mean it. I'm offended. Like if someone called you, oh, you motherfucker, you wouldn't like, unless they were saying it in a real angry way, I suppose.
it's a
I
matter of
suppose it
tone.
depends. It's all about the delivery. But like if I was talking to my friends, I might, and they did something or whatever, if they did something annoying or whatever, and you say in a joking way, like, oh, you motherfucker or whatever. But like I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, yeah, that word,
Okay.
because that it's a little bit more like, ooh, you really mean it or something. I don't know. But that's why it's such a satisfying swear word. That's why I picked it as my favorite one, because when I get road rage or anything like that, it's just a satisfying word to say. And
Okay. See,
it's got that blunt kind of what's the word, like onomatopoeic kind of a blunt sound to it that's just there's something satisfying about saying, oh yeah. I'm not saying it though.
oh yeah, yeah. So, you know, it's weird. Maybe it's because Americans are conditioned to believe this, but when it comes to most like Western European accents, Irish, all the various UK accents, apparently there's various Ireland accents too, or even French. Like we tend to take it as something very prim and proper, and I guess. Going back to when I first saw your Great Fall videos, I was like, you didn't seem like the type that would just throw that around. But I guess,
Oh, what was I saying? Fuck.
well, yeah, but like even then, like, it was very like restrained. It was like, oh
Oh.
fuck, it's not like just. But
Yeah, that was probably more like, oh, I don't want to come across really angry on YouTube. I don't want to show people my true inner gamer rage that's there, because
also,
I
once you
it's
hit
frightening.
partner, apparently that's the one word that will never be allowed, no matter what, even if you say it once. So that's my understanding. Like
Yeah,
it's
well,
that word
good to
side by
know.
side with hate speech terms, where it's like we're never going to let that in.
Why though?
Well,
It's
I mean, as
just
far as like if that word slips by, we're going to take away your monetization, like that type of thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like based on a body part. It's kind of like saying someone's a dick. It's not
Yeah,
that
like to me,
different.
that's what the equivalent. But here in America, that is, oh, don't say that.
Yeah.
Also,
dudes
most
don't
people who
like,
say it in
yeah.
America say it with like a sexist overtone. Like they wouldn't call a guy that, if that makes sense. If they're the type that uses that
Oh,
term.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. So
For
there's
me,
that
like
too.
I knew, so I suppose when I was a teenager, I probably learned what it meant, but I was like definitely knew the swear word as a swear word before I knew like what it meant. It was the same with like I remember being a kid and being like bastard. I like you'd say bastard, and that was like a real bad word if you're a kid, you know, you're like bastard. But I remember like finding out what bastard actually meant, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Well,
I
what
just
have you,
thought it was like something you called somebody, like it's
at the
mean.
risk of stepping in shit, is it possibly like the Catholic influence in Ireland? Like the idea would be like, oh, your parents weren't married, you know, and that's like the deep insult to them. Like, would that be the reason why it's so poorly received, I guess? Or was it just more prudish in that time?
The word bastard?
Yeah, as far as like,
Oh
yeah.
no, so I just mean like as a kid, as in like being like 8 years old and not knowing what it meant, but
Oh,
being
you
like,
thought it was bad. I thought you meant like the
no, no,
culture in
no,
general. Okay.
no, 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 just like me as an 8-year-old kid being like, oh, bastard's a bold word. But then like you find out what it actually means. And I think I remember asking like my friend's mom, like, what does that actually mean? And then she explained to us like what a bastard was. And we were just like, oh, huh, that's weird. Like just, you know, to us it was just like a swear word. But then you find out like the real meanings of swear words and you're always like, oh, huh, okay. Never thought it had a meaning before, but yeah,
I first
it
became
does.
aware of the word that cannot be said again. There was a movie made before I was even born called Porky's. Have you ever heard of Porky's?
Porkies, no.
It's a very not aged well movie for a variety of reasons. Think of it as like a precursor to American Pie, if you want to think of it that way, as far as like that genre goes,
Okay.
where it's like high libido teenagers saying and doing a lot of things you can't say no. But there was a prank they did where they called a bar and they said, I need to talk to my friend Mike. They said, well, what's Mike's last name? And they said his last name is Hunt, Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
And when you say that name, it sounds like something else. And I was like, I don't get the joke, Dad, because my dad let me watch it. I was like 12. I shouldn't have watched that. And he said, oh, that, and he explained what it was, just like the basic dictionary definition of it. It's not in the dictionary, but you know what I mean? I was like, oh, is that, why is that word so funny? He's like, I don't know, son, just people don't like it when you say it, so people laugh when you do. I'm like, okay. So,
Yeah.
and I'll admit though, like if there's a Western European accent on that word, I don't get bothered at all. But when someone who sounds like me says it, it does send a shudder through my body. One thing I
Yeah,
noticed,
but
I
that's
was
what I mean. It
blushing.
has that effect on people. Yeah. Sorry, you were saying you were blushing.
Oh yeah, like I was looking at myself when you're like, what? Like just say the word. Like you were trying to like you were giving me like the prelude to like you saying it. You're like, oh, I'm going to say it. And like I was like, why am I so red? Because
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
just
because in Ireland, like it's fine. It's just a swear word. Nobody cares. But I know that other people would maybe find it like more offensive. And that's why I was like, you know, it's like, can I say it? Because I didn't know like how you would react if I just said
as
it.
far
You
as
might be like, get
as long
off
as
my
it's not.
podcast.
I know you wouldn't say this, but as long as it's not like hate speech, say what you want, and I could bleep if I
No.
have to. So
Yeah. No. It's
which
just
I will for sure.
Can we just clarify that this will be beeped out? It's not hate speech.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Just to
It's
clarify,
just a bad swear word.
YouTube has the same policy toward that word as they do hate speech, meaning like if that word slips by, you will never be able to monetize that video. That's what I meant by that, just to be clear.
Yeah. Just in case anyone listening to this is like, oh my God, what did she say?
Although, and again, we're recording this on March 8th, so things will probably change before this goes up. But Moist Critical put out a video talking about it. They have relaxed their policy on the word fuck.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter today about something within the first 7 seconds, and then
Yeah,
I don't know, fuck is okay, but not too many fucks.
Yeah, after 7 seconds, you can say fuck, but not repetitively. C word, still out. Always will be. But like, well, before it was the first 15 seconds, and all swear words were the same. So if you said damn or motherfucker, they were judged the same way.
Yeah.
And it was automatic demonetized. And I can't monetize, but I know with the captions, they can detect swear words, and I suspect they suppress people that use it a lot. unless they bring in a
Oh.
lot of ad revenue. Not naming anyone, but
Yeah,
you know.
because to me, like, even shit isn't really that bad a word. If I was saying shit in a video game, I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm swearing. Oh dear.
I mean, it means the same thing as the
But
word
like if
poop.
I'm saying fuck, I'm kind of thinking, oh, I might have to edit that out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I mean, I think the attitude toward most swear words is kind of antiquated. Like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, who
Can't
gives a
say
crap?
that.
YouTube will be fine with that from here to the end of time. But I say a word that means
Yeah.
the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like,
know.
swearing is like seasoning on your words. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to throw some
Yeah.
pepper on that thing.
I like that seasoning. And sometimes it just nothing else will do. Like, it really only comes out if I have road rage, cooking rage, gaming rage. Yeah, like usually when I'm raging or getting angry, it's at inanimate objects. So cooking, driving, or yeah, well, inanimate objects, bad drivers, they're real people, but nobody's hearing me shouting at them from inside my car, so it's fine.
I don't think I've ever heard you shout. You get a little loud in Shadow of the Colossus, but I don't think I've ever heard you just like really go for it.
No, I'll cut that stuff out if I
Oh.
do. If I lose my temper properly, I cut it out because it's awful. Nobody wants to see that, and it's kind of like sometimes you just need to have a little vent and then go back to what you're doing.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's not great.
Did you drop the C word in that turtle in Shadow of the Colossus?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, so you don't even notice it at this point. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like if I'm really frustrated and I am getting angry with something, then I might go off on a little 10 or 20-second little rant with lots of swearing. I'm like, that's never going to make it in. I'm never going to include that because like even I don't want to see that. Like if I'm editing that back, I'm like, ooh, look how angry I got. Ooh, my God, what's wrong with me? But you know, it happens. I lose my temper sometimes. Yeah.
I'll
And
admit.
cooking, I hate cooking. I'll lose my temper cooking too.
I will
It's
admit when I
fine.
asked that question, it was going to be a little throwaway before we end it, but I learned some shit about you today.
Oh God. Oh no. That's scary.
And before we wrap up, is it okay for me to include all that?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to bleep, obviously, because I don't want YouTube throwing the hammer on episode 1, but at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bleep all that stuff. You can leave it in. It's fine. I look nice from the outside, but I get really ragey sometimes playing video games, and that's fine.
That's
Hopefully
okay.
you'll never see it.